I am Erin Levine. I'm from Oakland, California. I am the owner, CEO, and founder of HelloDivorce. I'm a certified family law specialist, a legal innovator, an entrepreneur, and a mother of dragons. Well, actually, a mother of two girls who feel like dragons right now, but
How old?
5 and 8, almost 6 and 9.
Okay, and you said from Oakland, born and raised in Oakland?
Born and raised in LA, actually. I came up to San Francisco for law school and never left.
That's awesome. So what do you do? I guess actually your name's quasi-explanatory, but what do you guys do?
We make divorce much easier and less combative and a whole lot cheaper. We do that with a web platform that helps guide consumers through the divorce process, start to finish. And then we have some add-on services as well for people that have a little bit more complexity or conflict, like mediation and legal coaching.
Was there like a unique insight that sparked this, or what compelled you to launch this?
There were a few, aside from the fact that I was totally burnt out as a practicing lawyer and needed a change. So there was the fact that we had consumers who were afraid that the mere act of lawyering up was going to trigger some sort of like messy war. And they had seen their parents get divorced and it was nasty and it was expensive. And so they wanted something different, particularly more connection with their case and the ability to do the stuff that non-lawyers would ordinarily do on their behalf. And while I have a firm in Emeryville, Levine Family Law Group, it was not set up to be able to make money at scale with how we ordinarily practice law, that billable hour. So I saw this huge opportunity. I saw that 75% of divorce cases have at least one self-represented party. They're navigating a very complex division of assets and dissolving of a marital contract, and I wanted to help them.
If you had to like categorize for the average divorce, like, what percent do you think you guys really capture right now? Like what you've built some tools that enable people to manage a lot of this process themselves. But I'm curious, like in general, like this is a big theme that we're looking at as a venture fund, but I'm curious how you think about that.
Well, we definitely think about it. And we did an incredible amount of research and a design sprint before we even poured our heart and soul into this. And what we found was that, companies like Complete Case and like 123 Divorce and things like that were spending hundreds of thousands a year on Google ads. So we realized there must be a market here. And we also learned that if we could just capture 2, 3, 4% of the market, we'd be, 40, 50, $60 million a year. So we're not there yet, although we're growing 10% month over month, and our traffic is up 244% from last year. So it's been quite a year and a huge uptick post-COVID.
And is that indicative, like why now, from a timing perspective? Obviously there's things like COVID that I guess could be accelerating things, but in general, is there also this, YouTube's moment had to do with broadband adoption and things along those lines. I'm curious if you sense anything where people are more comfortable to do things online these days, or if there's more of acceptance.
Absolutely, 100%. So prior to COVID, I had two main marketing challenges. One was to get the word out on a very small budget, and the other was to educate the consumer that there is a viable alternative to the status quo, and that alternative is using an online platform. And I kid you not, it was like overnight that no longer became something that I needed to worry about. Everyone coming to the site, everyone asking questions was like, all right, this is how we do it. This is what we're going to do. Of course, we're going to do this. And they were looking for brands that were already well established and had reviews and all of those kind of things. So it was, there's no magic wand. And as you know, being a founder, everything takes time. It takes years to become an overnight success. But that was our magic wand, because it was like, boom, people were like, we can do this online. Of course we can do it online.
Yeah, and I guess that's a tailwind that's not going back. What does like a future world look like for you? How does the company play into it? where do you see this going towards?
I think what we're looking at now is we're really seeing this major shift from a seller's market to a consumer's market. We have seen that legal fees have increased exponentially for the average person, with the average cost of divorce in this country being $20,000 or more per person. People
Wow.
can't afford it and they don't want to spend it. And so what we're seeing is this shift onto customer experience, to easy, to accessible, to a pleasing experience, one that feels good, even going through a really hard time. So this productization of law, where we are focusing lawyers on what they do best, right? Like problem solving, but not all legal problems need a lawyer, but they do need a guide, because law is complex and the system is archaic and inefficient and scary and everything else in the world, and inconsistent, even courthouse to courthouse. So they do need help. People understand that, they want it. They just don't want to spend $20,000 to fill out forms or to understand the process.
So 20,000 to fill out forms. What's that? What's the corollary on your side?
So the average, we have several different membership levels depending on what it is that people need. The average cost that somebody spends on HelloDivorce start to finish is $1,500.
Wow.
And that would include not only all their forms being auto-populated, but 1 or 2 hours with a lawyer, just to make sure like T's are crossed, I's are dotted. I'm not overlooking anything, because, as I said earlier, this is a major contract we're dissolving. Marriage is a financial contract, and a lot of people have, something to lose, or they want to make sure that their kids are protected. So they do bring in a lawyer at some point, which is exactly what I had hoped for. So I'm glad that piece is working.
Yeah, that the vision people have of technology, you go from like today's world where it's heavily manual to some future where it's 100% automated, but the world's not ready for that 100% automated. It's there's something in between that acts as like a bridge to take you to that future.
Yes, absolutely. And there's just so much emotional triggers when it comes to divorce and relationships. Like the issues that you had with communication in marriage don't magically go away in divorce, and people need help navigating it. And that's not legal. That's just being a good human and offering tools for people to help them problem solve. And so I think the future of legal is also looking far beyond the law and looking about how we can like resolve issues within our community and be like better humans.
What's something, obviously this is 2020 has been an odd year. What's something unexpected that you learned?
Just a little bit, right? Just a little bit on. So something I learned about myself is that I always knew that I responded well to crisis and chaos. Like that was something I always knew. Something goes down and I could fix it. But what I realized this year is just how completely unsustainable that is, because the crisis didn't go away. And so I didn't have this period of like intense, insane energy and then I could relax for a month or two. No, it like remains, especially like my significant other is in the food and beverage industry. His business tanked, then he opened a drive-in, then they closed it with shelter in place. So it was like one thing after another. So I had to really learn how I could get stuff done without that like heightened level of intensity in my life. It was pretty big.
I guess on that note, and on the note of you saying, it's been a couple of years to get to your overnight success moment, and that's what kind of the entrepreneurial journey is. What's something you do to get inspired when, you're in some of those valleys that aren't as fun as you'd like them to be?
I forgot you were going to ask me that. Oh my goodness. So I love to walk and not know where I'm going. Just get out and go. And I usually end up somewhere that feels magical. I absolutely love the Bay Area. So I do that a lot. I have podcasts and magazines that I'm obsessed with, and usually talking to my mom. She always has these crazy business ideas that really are crazy, but there's like some golden nugget there,
Yeah.
like if you talk long enough. So
So there's something genetic about being an entrepreneur.
oh, definitely. Yeah. My dad had a big law firm, and my mom was like, has always done little things on her own. And my grandfather was this amazing entrepreneur in LA. He had a furniture business with a super diverse staff. And I mean, he was just absolutely incredible, an incredible humanitarian. So it definitely runs in our genetics. Mhm.
Awesome. I guess on that note, who is someone that you respect, admire, or why? And it seems like you had a couple family members, but who else?
Yeah, definitely my grandfather. But I think Dolly Parton these days, she's just such a trailblazer, and she's a magical voice, and she's authentic and unapologetically Dolly. Like she
Yeah.
just is who she is, and humble and smart.
She's back in the news for something. She gave a big donation somewhere. I forgot. I just saw her.
Yeah,
Something.
towards the vaccine.
Yeah, but it was like money made in a weird way. She
Hmm.
sat next to somebody on a plane, and they were. Yeah, I forgot what it was. There's a fascinating story behind it that.
I'll have to read that. I was more fascinated with the fact that she's like 74 and wears like 5-inch heels. Like I haven't been able to do that since I was 25. So like, I mean, amazing. But I'll have to look that one up too.
What is one fact about you or the team that people don't know?
Can I do 3 quick ones?
You got it.
Okay. Mari, our COO, worked for Green Day for over a decade, the band. I used to be an elite gymnast. And my team over 50% of our team identifies as gay or queer. So that's pretty cool. It was totally by accident, but it ended up with a really great group of people.
Those are 3 good facts. What can folks listening or watching do to help you guys achieve your goals?
Well, there's a few things. One is that we're looking for lawyers and legal assistants in every state. Right now, we're in the process of expanding into other states. We just hit Colorado. We were in California too, and now we're going into Utah, looking into Texas, Arizona, New York. So like anybody who's interested in partnering with us on that, potentially employment or contract work, that's key. They have to believe in the mission and values. We also, I mean, there's something I've spent a lot of money on, and rightfully so, but it's starting to weigh on me, is on ethics counsel.
Okay.
And so I'd love some help navigating the new alternative business structure in Arizona. How can we get involved? What will that do for us? Is that just in terms of fee splitting for Arizona or beyond? But we certainly, ethics issues are coming up all the time. And, you know, we try to take more of a Lyft approach as opposed to Uber, in that we try to tackle them before we even launch in a particular state. So
Sure.
if you have that knowledge, I'd love to pick your brain, for lack of a better term. I hate that term.
It seems like it's a neat time to be doing what you're doing with, you mentioned Arizona, Utah, there's a sandbox, I think, coming to California. So it's,
it's the best time ever. Yeah,
really is.
It's so exciting. It's really exciting.
So anyway, thank you for taking a few minutes to share it with us. We appreciate it. And, it's awesome work that you're doing, and we're super psyched to root you on as you move forward.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.